When you pet the base of your cat's tail, do they instantly lift their hips into the air? You might think they are just enjoying the scratch, but you are actually triggering a biological reflex that goes all the way back to their birth. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what your cat is asking for every single time they do it. Chapter 1. The nerve cluster. Almost every cat owner has been here. You're stroking your cat, calm, quiet, just the two of you, and your hand drifts toward the base of their tail. And the moment you touch that spot, they lift. Hips up, back arched. Sometimes they even push back into your hand like they're trying to get more of it. It looks like pleasure. It feels like you found the best spot. And honestly, you did. But not for the reason you think. There's a specific cluster of nerve endings concentrated at the base of the spine right where the tail meets the back. Animal behaviorists have observed that this region has an unusually high density of sensory receptors compared to most other areas of the body. Think of it less like a scratch and more like a nerve highway. One touch sends a signal that travels the entire length of the spine fast, strong, involuntary. Your cat doesn't choose to lift. Their body does it for them. That distinction matters more than it might seem right now. Because when something is involuntary, when it bypasses conscious choice, it tells you something profound about what's actually happening beneath the surface. And in Chapter 4, that distinction is going to completely reframe the moment your cat suddenly walks away. But first, the reflex goes somewhere older than you'd expect. Chapter 2. The kittenhood reflex. Here's something most cat owners never think to connect. And once you do, this moment the hip lift, the arch, the pushback will never look the same again. Your cat was doing this before they ever opened their eyes. Newborn kittens can't clean themselves. Their nervous systems aren't developed enough. So their mother does it for them, licking along the spine, down toward the base of the tail. This triggers the same reflex you trigger every time your hand finds that spot. The lift isn't just a physical response. It's an ancient cooperation. The kitten lifts so the mother can reach. The mother reaches because the kitten lifted. Did you know this is how mother cats clean their young? It's pure instinct. It happens in the first hours of life. Before hunger is fully understood. Before warmth is consciously felt. This reflex is one of the very first things a cat's nervous system learns to do. And here's what that means for you. When your adult cat lifts into your hand at that spot, they are not simply enjoying a good scratch. Something much older than enjoyment is activating. A pattern so deep it was wired in before the cat even knew what a human was. You're not just their owner in that moment. You're something they recognize at a level that has nothing to do with memory. That's not a small thing, but we need to go one layer deeper before you can fully use it. If this is changing how you see your cat, it would mean a lot if you hit like. It helps other cat owners find this too. Chapter 3. The scent gland activation. There's a name for what your cat is doing at that spot. And when you understand it, the hip lift stops being a cute reaction and becomes something your cat is deliberately offering you. Cats have scent glands in several places on their body. Most people know about the ones on the face, the cheeks, the chin, the forehead, but there's a concentration of scent glands at the base of the tail that almost no one talks about. Right there, that exact spot you've been touching, when you press gently into that area, you're not just stimulating nerve endings, you're activating a scent release. Animal behaviorists who study feline chemical communication have observed that this region plays a role in how cats deposit their individual scent signature. They deposit it not just on objects, but on the beings they choose to share it with. Think about what that means. Your cat has a scent that is entirely their own. Specific, unrepeatable, and when they lift into your hand at that spot, they are at a biological level letting that scent transfer onto you. They are putting their signature on you, claiming you, not possessively, more like, you're part of this, you belong in my world. Scent for a cat is identity. It's how they know who is safe and who isn't. It's how they recognize their own territory. And right now, in that quiet moment on the couch, they are folding you into that identity. You didn't just find a good scratch. You found their way of saying you're theirs. In Chapter 5, you'll see how to use this deliberately in a way that deepens what your cat already feels, without forcing anything. But first, the lift doesn't always mean what you think it does. Chapter 4. The overstimulation warning. What you've probably been calling the good spot has a completely different name in your cat's nervous system. It's a threshold. Here's the thing about that nerve cluster at the base of the tail. The same density that makes it feel incredible, fast signals, full body response, involuntary arch, also makes it one of the fastest routes to overstimulation in the entire body. Animal behaviorists call this the petting-induced overstimulation response. And the tail base is one of the most common trigger points they observe. Be honest. Has your cat ever gone from pushing into your hand to walking away, or suddenly turning and nipping at your fingers, all within about 30 seconds? That's not mood. That's not attitude. That's a nervous system that crossed its own line. The lift that felt like more, please, can shift sometimes without any visible warning, into a signal that means I'm done. Right now. And here's where most owners get it wrong. They read the initial lift as unlimited permission. They keep going, and then they're surprised when the cat leaves or snaps. The reflex that started in kittenhood, that automatic, involuntary cooperation with touch, doesn't come with an off switch your cat can explain to you. It just stops cooperating. And their body makes the decision. This is the callback to the very beginning. Remember, the lift bypasses conscious choice. So does the cutoff. Your cat isn't being difficult. They're not punishing you. Their nervous system completed its cycle and it moved on. Watch for the tail. Before the walkaway, before the nip, the tail will begin to flick. Low, slow at first, then faster. That flick is the only warning they have to give you. And what you can actually do with all of this is simpler than you'd think, which is exactly what Chapter 5 is about. So now that you understand why, here's how. Chapter 5. The friendly greeting angle. This next part is why I wanted you to stay, because most advice on petting cats gets this completely backwards. Everyone focuses on where to pet. The chin, the ears, the cheeks. And those spots matter. But the tail base is different, because your cat doesn't just tolerate touch there, they actively offer it. Think about the last time a cat walked toward you and lifted their tail straight up, vertical, like a flagpole. That's a greeting. Specifically, it's the feline equivalent of a handshake. A signal that says, I'm not a threat, and I'm choosing to approach you. Animal behaviorists have observed this tail-up posture as one of the clearest indicators of social trust. It marks the bond between cats and the humans they've chosen. And here's the detail that changes everything. When a cat raises their tail in greeting, the base of that tail, that scent gland cluster, that nerve highway, becomes the most exposed part of their body. They are pointing it directly at you, not by accident, by choice. This is what animal behavior researchers sometimes call a scent presentation. The cat is offering you their identity marker. They're inviting contact at the exact spot that carries their signature. So when you respond by gently touching the base of the tail and they lift into it, that's not random. That's a greeting completed. A full exchange. You acknowledged what they offered. Call this the greeting return. It works like this. When your cat approaches with their tail up, let them walk past your hand rather than reaching for them. Let the base of the tail make contact on their terms. Then apply gentle, steady pressure, not scratching, holding. 2 to 3 seconds. Then release. Watch what they do next. Almost always, they circle back. Because you answered in the right language, and there's one last layer, something that works on a level most people never think to combine. That's what we're ending on. Chapter 6. The ultimate trust pet. Remember what I said at the very beginning, that this reflex goes all the way back to their birth? This is where that matters most. There is a specific combination your cat has been waiting for. Not consciously, they don't plan it. But when it happens, something in them recognizes it. At the same deep pre-verbal level where the kittenhood reflex lives. Here's what it is. Start at the cheek. The scent gland just in front of the ear, right between the eye and the ear canal. Press gently. Let them lean into it. Most cats will. Because the cheek gland is how they mark the things they've already decided are safe. When they rub their face against a door frame, against a chair leg, against your ankle, they're signing their name. You pressing into that spot tells their nervous system. This has already been claimed. This is known. Then slowly, without breaking contact, move your hand along the jaw, down the neck, along the spine, all the way to the base of the tail. Hold there. Gentle pressure. Still. What you've just done is trace the exact path a mother cat would take. Cheek to tail. Beginning to end. The full length of the body. And the nervous system, The one that learned this pattern in the first hours of life recognizes it. Before memory, before language, before any of this, it knows. Not as a pet, as a ritual. Animal behaviorists have observed that combined multi-site contact produces unique results. Engaging both facial scent glands and the tail base in a single slow stroke creates sustained relaxation. The body temperature drops slightly. The slow blink appears. Some cats will lower their head and simply stay. That's not comfort. That's something older. Your cat isn't lifting their back because the spot feels good. They're lifting because somewhere beneath everything they've learned about living in a human world, they still remember being small and warm and completely taken care of. And when you make that stroke, slowly, cheek to tail, you become that memory. That is ancient love, and now you know how to speak it.